What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Momo Trades. We're going to do another chart lesson using price action techniques, and right now we're about an hour and a half before market open and we have our first potential trade. So we clearly have a significant leg working down, and we don't expect for prices to immediately reverse before testing a new low of the day after we had this clear break of the trend. So we do look for two-legged pullbacks. So we have one clear leg here, we have another leg here, but if you analyze this a little bit more closely, we have a new low, we went up, we had a first entry short, and then we went up again, we had a second entry short because this bar broke below the previous one to it. So when we came back to the EMA, tested it again, it created a double trap because it was a failure of a failed second entry short. But even though we're at the EMA, it's a nice bear signal bar, we're expecting a new low. Look how many bars are stacked. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10 bars stacked in a row. So I would stay away from this trade, even though it worked out. It's easy to see that after the fact. And now we're definitely reaching a potential support level because in the overnight session, we traded up, we had a leg down, we had a break, new low. So now it could be that signal to where prices might start reversing. So if we start trading above the EMA, we want to switch gears and then potentially look for a long entry. So here's a potential long entry, but we're about 5 minutes before market open, so I'd rather not force any trades before then. It can get a little volatile and you can get tripped up. So now we're definitely working higher, and let's look if we can get any two-legged pullbacks to go long. At this point, we can clearly see that we're testing the EMA, we're just making higher highs, higher lows, and we're not just looking for first entries. So this bar right here, it's a nice bullish signal bar off of the EMA, but it's technically just a first entry long. We want to see two failed attempts to go lower. So here we had one attempt, we're going lower again, and this is another area where it's technically a second entry long because we had a new high, first entry long, second entry long, but we're below the EMA. We want to look for a higher low in this case. So if we trade above the EMA, come back and test it, we have a nice bullish signal bar, then we can look for long, but prices did just go higher without us. So now, once again, we're just interpreting the price action as we go. We do want to start looking for a potential uptrend. This does look like a valid uptrend to me. It is capturing the bars very nicely. Obviously you can adjust it because right here we're technically overshooting it, but it might have just been a sort of spike and then a channel. So maybe something a little more accurate is actually just like this, where we have an overshoot here or a break, and we're just trading up within this trend channel. So now at this point, we're definitely getting close to the highs of the day. So it is time to just potentially pause on looking for long setups. But in any case, until we trade below the EMA, there's no reason to even think about going short. So prices just keep going higher, keep going higher. We have a two-legged pullback here. So we have a first entry long, second entry long off of our trend channel. So once again, if we get a higher low above the EMA, like we have right here, this looks like a textbook trade to me. So let's interpret this with a little bit more detail. So our overall context, if we zoom out, we reached the high of the day, we kept trading higher, we're still within this trend channel. We bounced off the bottom side of the trend channel with a first entry long, second entry long. The bulls in the market are trying to keep the uptrend going. You want to go with the trend. No reason to go against the trend just yet. This does look like a healthy uptrend. So when we have this opportunity to then go long because it's a higher low, confirming the bulls are in the market, this looks like a very, very nice setup to me. And would it have worked out? If we had gone for a 1 point scalp, it went from 28.50 to 44.30. So you would have barely scalped out, but that's why we are scalp traders, because if you do just go for those 1 point scalps, 1.25 point scalps, you are going to be on the right side of the market about 9 out of 10 times, obviously, given that you're reading the price action the right way. So now we are getting a bit sideways. So at this point, I definitely just want to draw a trading range because it does look like we're just getting some sideways movement. So if we fail out of the bottom side, I want to look to go long, but instead we just continue working higher. So now it might be a reason where, who knows, if we get rid of this trend, there might even be a wider term trend like this, where we've just been playing the midline because prices just keep going higher and higher. So once again, let's see if we can get a second entry long. What do we have right here as we're speaking about it? New high, first entry long, second entry long. EMA is holding. Several bars of support right here. We have room to the high. I'm going to take that all day. Would it have worked out? Once again, it would have worked out for a 1 point scalp. Say you bought one tick above the signal bar, it would have been 44.36, and you would have had about 1.5 points. So once again, just shows why we go for scalps. And here, honestly, I'm going to mark that trade as well. At this point, we're bouncing off the trend once again. It's a third confirmation of our most recent trend channel. We did widen it because prices kept going higher. So not all the times do you want to just continuously redraw your trends, but in a case like this where prices just are holding at the EMA, we're just continuing to have significant legs up. Here honestly does also look like a visual first entry long, second entry long, even though technically we had a bit of sideways movement here, on top of the fact where we broke below this area of support, came back, nice bullish bar. I'm going to take that trade. And we did have some more sideways movement, but we ended up working higher. Whenever you see bars stacked like this, but the EMA is still pointing up, still holding, it just goes to show that you might want to pull the trigger on a long entry, because it actually just shows the strength of the market. Because no matter how hard the bears try to push the market down, we're just holding. So just kind of was the day we had today. If you didn't get in on the movement, too bad, so sad. So we do have some more sideways movement, but what happens? We just keep going higher. No reason to go short just yet. It might honestly be a new sort of trend we're having, like so. So we're constantly readjusting. We have one trend turned into another, and in reality, these 45-degree trends are very, very powerful. It's a reason to just keep going long. Here we have another beautiful long entry. It's a first entry, second entry, failure, a second entry long failure, double trap. These double trap trades are very, very powerful. Excellent signal bar. I'm going to take that all day, every day. And that's why we had such a significant move up. So let's reanalyze this trade once again. Even though the bars are stacked, we can see that we're just making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We have a new high. We have a first entry long, second entry long failure. So if people are trying to short this market, they're going to go short right below this bar thinking that prices are going to reverse. When in reality, they're ignoring the entire context of the market, the entire reasoning why we're even continuing to work higher is because we're just holding at the EMA. We've been talking about the higher lows, higher highs. You don't want to just go short because you have an opportunity that might follow your rules when you're just looking for a certain pattern. So you have a first entry long, second entry long, failure below the EMA, bear signal bar. But the most important thing is the context of the markets. We're going higher, so you should only be thinking to go long. People overcomplicate it all the time, but just think, in an uptrend, I'm going to go long. In a downtrend, I'm going to go short. We've been in a massive uptrend all day. No reason to even think to go short. That's why when we got this opportunity to trap those shorts, you got to just take that and ride with it. Look at this. You would have had a very, very nice runner, and prices just rocketed out after that. And that was honestly the trade of the day. So you could have entered at 44, 43. Man, you could have rode this all the way to at least this area, 44.53, nice 10-point move. If you trailed your runner at every swing low, you would have trailed it here, you would have trailed it here, you would have put it right here as well. So maybe you would have got a nice 10-point runner. Nothing bad. And now at this point, once again, I always like to zoom out, look at the overall context of what we've done. And we honestly might even want to redraw our trend once again, just to give us a picture, a better picture of what is going on. So we can have, obviously, trends within trends, but it looks like we just had sideways trend here, 45-degree angle. We definitely overshot what we previously had. We had a nice leg up, but the most important thing to keep in mind is that, okay, we're definitely at the top end of whatever the trend is, but we still want to only look for long entries. So honestly, I do sometimes just prefer a naked chart, but always keeping in mind that, okay, we could be a little overbought. We're definitely just trending higher, but I want to wait for a significant pullback to then go long once again, which we do have here. So now I do like to just always constantly zoom out, zoom in, give myself an idea of what's going on. This is a nice second entry short, new low, first entry short, second entry short. But once again, I would rather only look for longs. This is a potential for a short entry simply because we did overshoot this channel we had. We definitely had a lot of resistance here. Notice how this short entry is much different from this one we had here, because at this point we were trending higher, we had higher lows, higher highs, the EMA was pointing up. Here we had a clear move down, EMA pointing down. Honestly, I'm going to mark this trade because at this point, even though the overall context is definitely up, you can't ignore the fact that we had triple top here, nice leg down. We're expecting a new low, at least of this short-term trend, and the rest of the day was honestly pretty sideways. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a couple things. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Have a good one. Good luck. Peace.